everybody.
Hey, everybody. What's up? Welcome to Can We Talk Sports? I am Karen, and I am a previous, past, and present sports mom because I love sports. I love our kids playing sports, and I am an entrepreneur as well. I own a tax business called Core Fast Tax. I do filming. I do a little bit of everything. That's what mommy do. We multitask. Welcome to the show.
Exactly. And I'm Carmen, aka Mama D. And I do a whole bunch of stuff. I have taught in the past. I sell Medicare right now. It's a really crazy time for us right now selling Medicare. I'm a volleyball official, blackjack dealer. A whole bunch of stuff. But most importantly, I'm a sports mom. Now, all of my kids are out of sports now. They're grown and doing their own thing, but it's in the blood. I will always be a sports mom. Right now, I'm following my nephew, my nieces, following their sports. And I just love sports. So go Cowboys.
Big Mama gonna get you. Cowboys actually pull it out. Yes, we are proud of them. And you know what? That's what we need. As far as you saying you're a sports mom to your nieces and nephew, we need that community. It takes a village. I'm sure the kids love to have that support. And so that I think that's wonderful that you are supporting your niece and nephew. I support my community.
Yes.
I call them my babies because I think our volleyball just took a bus. They're going off to playoff. And I was like, this is our babies. This is our babies from our community. I support them all. These are our kids, and this is what they're doing, and we're proud of them. And so we give them a clap.
Yes, absolutely. You're right, Karen. We got to support them all. You know, when I was athletic assistant, I would go to all the games. It didn't matter, baseball, whatever sport. And the parents would be from the other team would be sitting in the stands looking at all these Caucasian kids like, which one is yours? And I'd be like, they're all mine.
They're all yours.
They all belong to me. So
yes. Hey, you guys, if you're looking at this video on YouTube, we ask you to like and share the video. Hit the notification so you'll know when we're on. If you're on Facebook, like and share. If you know a sports mom, a sports parent, a sports uncle, a sports auntie, tell them about this show. We are Sports Mom, and we are bringing you great information that your kids need to know, whether it's about injuries, doctors, sports, all different kind of sports. We just learned about hockey, and we're going to go to a hockey game. So like and share this video. But you guys, we had a guest that was going to be coming on, and she is still going to come on. Her name is Lupe Rose. She is the CEO of Women Tackle Football, but due to her schedule, she's going to have to reschedule. So, you know what, Sports Mom, we know how to just improvise and bring somebody else to the show. So we're excited to bring our producer, the producer of the show. So everything that you've been seeing so far, it is from her, and she has all kind of business as well. But we're excited to bring her to the show tonight. We want to welcome our producer, Ms. JQ.
Oi, FFTV.
event. Number one, I wanted the sports community to come all together, to connect and network with one another. One misconception about training high school athletes?
I think next question, as I have to give my props to the OG. Learned a lot from him as well. I think the biggest misconception is a lot of kids think they are going to be stars.
Welcome, JQ.
Hello. How are you, ladies?
Loving that hat.
Yes, I'm having a bad hair day, so I decided to throw in a little hat to make it, jazz it up a little bit.
Well, you look beautiful. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We're excited to have you on the show instead of being behind the show. You're right here with us. We're
in the camera.
Yes, I'm finding myself back in front of the camera. That's how I started, which was doing interviews with top high school basketball and football athletes. So I missed it a little bit, but I enjoy being behind the scene, being that person to, watch everything, observe and analyze and strategize on what I want to do with the client and the athlete. So, but it feels good to be in front of the camera. I will say that.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit more about yourself and exactly what you do, and then we'll get into the producing side of Can We Talk Sports?
Yeah. So a lot of people don't know this, and I guess because I look feminine, when I dress up. But trust and believe me, I'm a tomboy deep down inside. So I actually used to play college basketball. I played at 3 different schools, actually. I know you're probably wondering, JQ, why did you go to 3 different schools? Well, the first school I went to, Maryland Eastern Shore, it didn't work out at that program. So I left after my first year, and it was definitely an experience because I'm a person where I want to do things by the book. So I went online, looked up on how to transfer, who to talk to. And I went to the athletic director first, as it was, instructed to do on the NCAA website if you wanted to request a transfer. And I thought that conversation was going to remain confidential, but he did go back and tell the coach for the team that I played for, and they decided to allow me to transfer. Well, at that time, if you wanted to transfer from a D1 to a D1 school, you had to sit out a year. And I didn't want to do that. So I went to JUCO in Lufkin, Texas, did 1 year there. So I had to leave after, my sophomore year, ended back in North Carolina at St. Andrews, a Division II school. And what's crazy is I actually had 2 D1 offers coming out of JUCO. I could either go to North Texas or Louisville. Decided not to do that because, well, number one, I failed a course, and I had to go to summer school, and I never done summer school ever. And I'm like, I'm not going to summer school. I just go to Division II. Definitely regret doing that, but ended up at the Division II school in Lawrenceburg, North Carolina. And at that time, that's when the love of the game started fading away from me. And the reason why is because we had a losing record. I didn't have teammates that really wanted to win, and that wasn't really focused. So, of course, the love of the game started fading away from me. So I didn't know if I wanted to go overseas. And honestly, I just didn't know what I wanted to do after I graduate. So decided to go straight into grad school, attended Liberty University, and got my human services master's degree, and then came back to North Carolina. When I came back to North Carolina, that's when my journey started, because I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew that I wanted to be around athletes. I wanted to be in sports. I just didn't know what that looked like. So what I did was I bought a cheap camera and I started interviewing, the top high school basketball and football athletes. And the cool thing about that was I was able to travel. So I went to states like Indianapolis, Chicago, Texas. And at these events, these are like Nike, Under Armour, the McDonald's All-American. So I was getting approved to be at these events to interview athletes. So I did that for a couple of years, but then realized that it was getting boring. I was interviewing the same kids, but the good thing about that was I was building rapport with these kids and their families. So seeing a lot of things that were going on behind the scenes, I said to myself, okay, now, I'm looking for something different. Let's transition from being in front of the camera to now behind the camera, which brings me to where I am today. So right now with my company, I help high school athletes, college athletes, and some professional athletes with their branding and their marketing. But specifically for high school students with the, new name, image, and likeness rule, I help them with their branding so they can get recruited and get more exposure. And then with the recruiting process, I help families, because a lot of people don't know what the process entails. Right. They don't know who to contact. They don't know what the recruiting calendar is. So that's where I come in and I, step in and help them with those type of things. And then outside of that, hey, Mean Girl Hockey. She's oh my gosh. You are a faithful fan. We appreciate it.
Right.
But yeah, so outside of that, helping athletes and sport brands, I also do event management for different sporting events, which is what you just saw. So the clip that was just played before I came on was an event that I put on in 2019 here in Atlanta, Georgia. And basically that event was to bring everyone together in the sports community to network, because you moms know, when you go to a sports game, you guys are really not conversing with the other parents. You guys are tuned into what your child is doing on the court or the field. So you're not really, trying to talk to the other parents and, things of that nature. That's what this event was about. There was no competition. This was solely for everyone to come together to network, to ask different people in different fields, different questions they may have, about the recruiting process. Like I had a top trainer here in Atlanta, Georgia, even in a high school football athlete. A lot of people was very surprised that I had a young athlete on the panel, because most panels you see nowadays are adults. So just getting them that exposure and that platform to get themselves out there was fantastic. So yeah, so that's basically what I do. Help athletes with their branding and marketing, helping small sport brands build their brand as well, so they can get to where they want to get to.
Awesome. I want to go back.
Okay.
I want to go back to you talking about transferring. I know a lot of parents and kids have had to deal with that. So what was it about the school or things that an athlete should look at a school and in order to decide, okay, I need to get out of here, I need to transfer? What are some things that you could share about, like, the education wasn't on point? What are some things that happened that help you make that decision about transferring?
Well, what I would say is, first and foremost, a lot of parents and these kids need to do their research on these programs. Small things like, how far is it away from home? I know for me, I was okay being away from home. I didn't care if I couldn't jump in my car and take a 2-hour drive back to see my parents. But you have some kids that get homesick. So just, doing your research, finding out how far is it away from your home and family and friends, what's in that community. I know a lot of kids that get lost and get thrown off track when they go to a big city that they're not used to, and they get caught up in a lot of distractions. So you just really have to think about those things before you even make a decision. And what do you want to major in? There are schools out here that are known for specific, programs. So, thinking ahead, thinking about the plan B. What do I want to do after I graduate? Do I want to go into nursing? Do I want to go into sports science? So finding those schools would definitely, finding those schools and researching on what they can offer, it really helps out a lot. But I know for me, when I got there, it just wasn't a good fit for me. I didn't think that I fit in with the girls on the team, like I said, when kids get away from home, they get thrown off track. They're now focused on partying and, just doing things they know that they wouldn't be able to do if they were still living at home with mommy and daddy, So, and, I was that type of player where I was focused. Like I wanted to win. Like I was all about basketball and making sure that our team won every game as much as we could. But that's when I knew that it was just time for me to leave, because I didn't want to be around. And nothing against the girls. I love all the girls that are on the team, but I just know for me, it was something more that I wanted. And that's just like anything in life. When you have your mind set on something, if your circle or your surroundings doesn't align with that, it's best for you to separate. So that's what brought me to my decision to transfer out of from the school in Maryland.
I like how you said about researching. And so I can share one of the things that would deal with my son that I didn't realize. When he left Shaw University, he transferred to another.
Shaw Bears? You didn't tell me your son went to Shaw?
Yes.
That's in North Carolina.
Yes. Okay. He was a Shaw Bear for 2 years.
Okay.
And then he transferred to another school. He transferred to a private school in Connecticut, Seton Hill. There's 2 of them, but he went there, and that was a private school. So when he went, that school gave him an iPad and an Apple computer.
Oh, wow.
Right? And so when he he didn't pass a class, which means he had to go to summer school. Well, him going to summer, because he was on scholarship, him going to summer school meant that I had to pay for summer school. And that class was $1,500. I did not know that. Couldn't afford that. So that's why I like how you said how we as parents, we need to research the school that they're going to, and be able to ask those questions. Hey, what if my child have to remake a class? Who's financially responsible for that? And then my son came home and he brought the laptop and the computer with him. And so he got a bill still today.
You got to pay for it.
About $5,000 that he owed him. And I'm just like, where is it at? So we can send it back. We need to send it back. but that's what our kids do.
You know what, Karen? It's funny that you say that, because another element to that of doing your research and being proactive is parents educating themselves on the different loans and financial aid that's being offered. A lot of these student athletes, they don't know where to get the funds from if they're not getting a full ride or a full, scholarship. So now these parents are having to take out, money for loans. Taking out loans or coming out of pocket when there's free money out here. So I just think parents need to do their due diligence. But again, a lot of, kids and parents are not thinking about that. They're thinking just, we're going to send them off to this school. They're going to get an education. And then, from there. No, it's so much more that goes into it. And we just have to do our research. There's no excuse nowadays. Right. Anything you need to find is online. We just have to, make time to find that information that we're looking for.
And know what information to look for. Know what information. So, JQ, I was really interested when you talked about summer school. And were you guys there like during the summer? You didn't have to be there during the summer. You guys didn't have like summer workouts and.
At where? At Angelina or?
Yes, your first school. You said.
So the first school, I didn't have to attend summer school. I did not. We did have to go up to the school before everyone else, of course, for season workouts. And I think my freshman year, I was on campus maybe about 2 or 3 weeks prior to, school starting. So that gave me time to get acclimated and, finding my way around campus and my classes and so forth. But when I mentioned summer school coming out of JUCO, if I had went to summer school, I would have been able to play at a Division I school last 2 years. But I said,
Right.
I've never done summer school. And, I was naive thinking, oh, only dumb kids go to summer school. Like, I've never had to do summer school. So I said, what the heck with that? And sadly to say, and I'm not ashamed to say this and admit this to anybody, the reason why I failed a class is because I had my mind on this boy. I was in love, and
Yes.
back to what I just said, I wasn't focused. I had
Lost
my mind
focus.
on the wrong things, and it threw me off track. So
Mhm.
yeah, I didn't go to summer school.
We need to talk about that in love. Because,
Right.
oh my God, probably all our kids. I'm gonna tell you how in love my son was. His high school girlfriend went to college with him. I'm like, who does that? She
Wow.
went to out there with him, and then they were trying to get married before they even went. I was like, no, you ain't doing that. They was like, you get more financial aid.
Mm.
I was like, no, no, no. So this in love thing, let's go back to this in love thing.
How did that in love last? How long did it last, Karen?
A year and a half, and then I got a
Mhm.
call from the coach saying that Khalil and his girlfriend had got into it, and luckily he did not hit her, and her dad had to drive out there and
And
get
get
her.
her. Mm-hmm. Woo.
So JQ, tell us about yours. Is yours
So
still?
yeah, Karen, it's funny that you say that because the young man that I was dating my freshman year, a couple of months later after I've been on campus, we got engaged. He
Wow.
called my dad. Look at Mama D, like, what? He called my dad and asked my dad, could he have his blessing? And my dad flat out said, no.
No.
Oh,
I'm 17 years old.
oh,
17 years old. He's a freshman. He's from Maryland. He didn't play any sports or anything. And when it was time for me to transfer to the school in Texas, I had to go on different visits. And my
Mhm.
parents told me, you're not wearing that ring on your visits.
oh, he
Because
had your ring.
he gave me a ring and everything. Yes. Yes. And my parents said, when you go to these different schools to have these, recruiting visits, you're not going to wear that ring because, of course, a coach is going to ask. And,
Are
some
you
coaches,
married? Right?
yeah.
Are you
And,
giving?
and some coaches, honestly, at the age of 17, they're looking at me, oh, she's not focused. And that may be a turnoff for them. I didn't
Yes.
understand that back then, but now I
Mhm.
do. But of course, that only lasts for maybe about 6 months.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. So,
Oh,
oh, trust me, I don't know what was wrong with me. I was young
You were
again.
17.
I
That's
was
what was wrong with you.
17 years
that's
old.
it.
Mhm.
And what's crazy is that's another topic that I like to talk to young men about because with my company, I help all athletes, black, white, boys, girls. But I have narrowed my niche because I have a passion working with young black men. And one of the things that I like to talk to them about is look, especially if you're a top elite athlete, leave those girls alone. They're gonna come. Because if you
Mhm.
get caught up, and I'm not saying that every female has an intention of trapping them. I'm not saying that. But in most cases, they're on the sideline and they're plotting. And it's sad to say this, but you have a lot of older men that are coaches and parents that actually praise these young men of talking and dating these Instagram models, these influencers. And it's like, come on, you should know better. If you really want to see this young man, reach
Mhm.
his greatest potential and stay focused, why are
Mhm.
you praising that type of behavior?
wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
I didn't know that. That's
Mhm.
that's interesting.
That's
That is
interesting. Yeah.
there's a show one day we are going to talk about groupies and those
Yes.
who
Mhm.
have assignments to go after our boys and
Yep.
get them trapped and stuff like that. So we are going to talk about that. But
Mhm.
I just want you guys to get a taste of who JQ is and what she's what she has done and what she is doing. But she is also a producer, and she is the producer of Can We Talk Sports. She has been bringing some amazing guests. Thanks to her, some
Yes.
amazing guests to our show. And so, JQ, just tell me about, a little bit about when I first approached you and what you thought about, okay, these sports moms, they got a show. What is this all about?
Well, I think I told you this, Karen, during my trip in Texas. I was nervous. I was nervous because I didn't know the scope of work of being a producer was all about, because I'm coming from a background of working with athletes and sport brands, but not a sports talk show. So I was a little nervous, but after meeting you and speaking to you, I said, you know what? This is something that I want to be a part of. And Karen can tell you this too, Mama D. I told Karen, I said, look, I don't like to waste my time, and I don't like to waste other people's time. If
Right.
you're serious, I'm serious. Let's do the darn thing. And I think the concept that you guys have, and first and foremost, I just want to thank you and all the other sports moms, because you guys have been dedicated every single Tuesday. And I know you guys have, other things going on in your lives, but you guys have really made a commitment, because anytime you're coming on the show, I look at it as if you're not doing this for you. You're doing this for the moms out there, or for the athletes, or the trainers, whoever needs this sort of content. And that's why I have so much passion, being a part of Can We Talk Sports, because it's needed. And as I explained to Karen, during my visit to Texas, this is something that is very important for parents and anybody in the sports community to be tuned into, because we're not just bringing in sports moms. Last week, we had a doctor that studies the brain injury, like brain research. It's a lot of stuff that, it was there were a lot of things that he shared with us that I didn't know about.
Right.
And sometimes parents and even kids need to hear those type of things, because there are myths out there about concussions. We don't know. We just hear, what Johnny said, at a game about, oh, he'll be okay. It wasn't a head-on-to-head collision, and it doesn't have to be, a concussion, as we have learned. But just having different types of people on the show, bringing different expertise and hearing their stories, is just amazing. And I do believe, and I'm not just saying this because I'm the producer of the show, because I told Karen this before we even agreed to work together. If I have a passion for something, you guys are going to see it. I'm not much of a talker. I'm an executor. And the things that we have done so far is going to bring so many great opportunities for you ladies. And I just love working with you all, and just a great concept that I think is very, very vital in the sports community. And I would hope that anyone that's watching is sharing this content, liking our page, liking our Facebook, because there's so much information, especially from you guys. You guys are speaking from firsthand experience. You guys are moms. You had athletes, or you do have athletes. And there's no better advice coming from someone that has actually lived through it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just honored and just blessed to be a part of this, because I'm surprised this has, something like this hasn't been done before. Like I think,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's so important that, sports moms and parents get involved and listen to the different types of information that is out there. And then just hearing it from you ladies, it brings so much more. It brings it more to home.
Yeah.
JQ, I wish, like when my children were younger, like high school, getting ready to go into, junior high, getting ready to go into college. I wish I had this kind of forum that I could have used, because we had no clue like what to do for recruiting. And I had good athletes, but how do you prepare them? Like my oldest daughter, Mahogany, who we started late. It was her sophomore year before we put her in club volleyball. And she still excelled and went D1 and went to college D1 and also went and played professional volleyball in Germany. But had we started earlier, when she was in seventh grade, sixth grade, you just imagine, you know, how much further she could have been. So, when these moms, let me tell you something. You got to start really preparing them and start getting their minds ready. Like for us in our household, it wasn't, are you going to college? It was, what college are you going to? It was not an option. So start preparing these kids in their mind. Start getting them ready. We would take our kids to college, games and stuff so they could be comfortable in a college environment. So, start these kids young. Once you start them young and you start preparing them and getting them ready, and moms, the earlier the better.
Yep.
The earlier the better.
Hey,
Baller
Mom,
Canada. Yay.
Yes, she's gonna be on the show one day. She's coming on the show.
Yeah, she's on, I want to say towards the end of this month, I think. We have so many people that's been sending Karen and I emails about being on the show. It's just a blessing. So
yes.
I don't remember when she's on the show, but she's coming on the show.
Yes, she is, and I can't wait because I wanted to have some talk with some other moms and us just chat it up and just talk about our experience and just pour into these other moms about what we learned. I just love that. I don't know how I got that passion from. I think it was from just serving the boys, serving the football team, and then just seeing how I had to go and research stuff because nobody came back to tell us about what we needed to do. Because I went to college, but it wasn't something I pushed on college for my household. But once I learned that you could get a scholarship for college, because I'm like, okay, money is tight. I've got 2 kids in a car seat and stuff like that. And so once I did that, I had to research on what to do, how to do a highlight tape. I even went one time, the coach had sent me the highlight tape and I had looked at it and I thought that it needed to show every time he was in a game, a play. And I had sent it to the head coach and I was like, it's not like everybody else highlight tape. He said, don't talk to me about nobody else highlight. Let's meet. And he said, okay, a highlight is a highlight.
Not every play
is a highlight. And I didn't even know that. He was like, not every play. He didn't do good on this one. So that wouldn't go in there. You're highlighting what he did good. And I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that. It's just amazing how that head coach, he met with me to educate me on that. That's what it was. But I'm just saying how we don't know and nobody comes back and tell us of that information so I can be prepared or even decide if I want to go that route. So that's why I just love the passion that God's given us.
You know what, Karen and Mommy D, you guys have said something that I reflect back on a lot. My parents knew nothing about going to college and getting a free education. We moved from LA to North Carolina. And mind you, I have 2 younger sisters that also played college basketball. And when we moved to North Carolina, that's when they found out that I could go to school for free. And they didn't know who to talk to. They didn't know what resources were out there. I remember to this day how my mom would be so frustrated sitting at the computer on this NCAA website because it just seemed so overwhelming. It was so much information and she didn't know which route to take. And of course you would think that the high school coaches or the club coaches will be able to guide you, but some of them didn't even know themselves.
Right.
And that goes back to what you said, that, we should be able to come back and educate the parents that are behind us so we can tell them, hey, this is what we did for our son or daughter. Maybe you can go this route. If not, here's another option for you. But I feel like sometimes we like to withhold that information, and I don't understand why. And I know this is off topic, but I truly feel that's why the Black community, we won't ever meet our greatest potential, because we're so afraid of somebody else getting to the bag before we do.
Yeah.
When we're supposed
What
to
do
be
they call that? What do they call that? The crab mentality? Crab?
Yes.
Mentality.
Like pulling each other down instead of lifting each other up?
Exactly. And other ethnicities, they help each other. You know, let's talk about the Hispanic family. You know, people like to joke, oh, you got 5, 6 different families living in a household.
They supporting each other though.
Exactly.
And they're getting ahead.
Exactly. And that's how the Black community used to be back in the day. But now everyone is off in themselves and just think about me.
Yeah. You got 5 or 6 families in a house, but before you know it, they buying a bigger house.
Exactly.
Right. Or each one
they
buying
pulling
their own.
together. They're buying a bigger house and then buying a bigger house, and then one family branches off, and then because they supported each other.
Yeah, they sow into each other too. They help them. So,
yes,
but we're gonna get it together. That's why we have Can We Talk Sport. That's why we're able to talk these things out, you guys. So don't forget to like and share this video. And I'm just so happy to have our producer on the show. And so since our guest was unable to come, we just still had to come and just chat with you guys and let you guys know what's going on with Can We Talk Sports, where our heart is coming from, why this show it is what it is. And so we just ask you continue to share, like, comment, tell somebody about us, help support this movement. I think it is a movement. What y'all think?
It definitely is.
It's a movement. We moving. We keeping them moving.
All right, you guys. So we're not going to hold you guys this whole hour. We're going to cut it short. And so I thank you guys. You guys have anything else to say? Oh, I wanted to show you guys that who sent a picture in. Let me show y'all. Oh. That is Mean Girl Hockey.
Is that Mean Girl Hockey? Shout out Mean Girl Hockey.
Yes.
Mean Girl Hockey looks pretty tall too. How tall are you, Mean Girl Hockey?
Needs to get close to the Lord. Yes, right.
Yes, Mean Girl Hockey. Absolutely. Mean Girl Hockey, how tall are you? She looked like she has some height to her.
Yes. And I know those
long legs
add a few inches, but she looks pretty tall.
Yeah. And then she's what, 55?
Yes. I know. Amazing.
55 and playing hockey.
Amazing. Yeah, she has long legs. Yeah, she got some height on her.
Yes.
5'10". Yeah, I knew she had to have
5'10".
Yeah. Yeah.
So you guys have any before we leave? Do you have anything else you want to say before we jet out?
I think JQ should give us some parting words.
Who, me? Oh, that's what I was gonna do. What I was gonna say is, social media has become vital in how we all engage and connect and learn from one another. So with the Can We Talk Sports, for everyone that's watching this video, whether you're live or will be replaying it at a later time, a simple share, sending it to a friend or an athlete or a trainer can really grow what we have. It may seem very small and insignificant, but those small things make a big difference. So like I said, if you follow us on Facebook, if you see a video, if you see any piece of content that we share that you think would touch you or someone else, share that information, because you never know, that mom, that athlete, that trainer, that doctor may need that information. So yeah, we just got to learn how to engage and communicate and support, positive things. So yeah.
I love it. And that is what we're going out on. So yes. We will see you guys later.
Bye, guys.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Let's go.